Hello, this is Kayla, your self-love empowerment coach and holistic metaphysical healing practitioner. Today, we are talking about shifting the way that you speak to yourself. You see, you've had all of these stories that you tell yourself constantly. Maybe it's, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, I can't do this, I'm not capable. Whatever it is, it's a story that you believe. Oftentimes, when working with clients, we discover that a lot of the stories that you tell yourself, they started at a young age. Say you went to school, you got the answer wrong after raising your hand in class, and that's when the belief came in, I'm stupid. Then as you got older, this belief just got stronger and stronger. And it didn't matter what anyone else told you because that is what you believed, because that is what you told yourself. So today we are going to start the process of rewiring these beliefs, challenging them, coming up with evidence why the opposite is actually true. So I want you to just take a moment and write down all the beliefs that you tell yourself, whether they are a word or a sentence, and you can pause this video. So if you've paused this video and you've replayed it and you have a couple of things that you've written down, I want to ask you some questions. So just look at that first one, or which one is most consistent in your life? The ones that maybe you tell yourself when you're having a bad day, when you mess up, when you just don't get things done the way that you had envisioned. Where did this come from? Is this something that you've been telling yourself since you were a child? Or is this something that was passed down? Is this something that your parents told you, your grandparents, or your friends? Or is this something that your parents or grandparents told themselves and you witnessed it and absorbed it and then started telling yourself the same thing? It's okay if you don't know where it came from. Why do you tell yourself this? When is it most consistent in your life? When does it usually come up? When are you feeling triggered to start saying these thoughts to yourself? And then I want you to look at it and I'm asking you, do you truly believe this to be true? Do you believe that this is the truth? Or could this? Is there any possibility that this is just something that you started to tell yourself? And I know that some of these can be easier than others, and some of them you're like, yes, I fully believe it to be true, Kayla. That's okay. So with these now, I want you to answer all those questions with each one. You can do one at a time or you can do all of them together. But I want you to start thinking of a new story. If you're telling yourself I'm stupid, for example, that's one I told myself for a long time. Can you come up with some evidence that maybe the opposite is actually true? See, we could just flip it and say, I'm smart, and just start telling yourself you're smart, but you're probably not going to believe that, and it's not enough to be able to just change these thoughts. You need to come up with some evidence. Others tell me that I am. I did well in school, or I graduated with a certain certification, or I went and did something that I put everything that I had into it and I made it. I finished it. I got it done. It doesn't have to be this, but can you come up with some evidence, possibly, why the opposite is true? I've had clients I've worked with that told themselves, I can't do it. I'm not capable. I'm not strong enough, maybe. And I asked them to reflect on a time that you thought you couldn't do it, but you proved yourself wrong and you actually did do it. And each time they're like, wow, actually I have this photo album, or I have this time, or this, this moment in my life, like when I finished that big hike that I didn't think I was gonna be able to do. And I have a picture of myself at the top and I actually did it. It's like that photo is the evidence that you actually are capable of more than you say that you are. You see, we create these energetic blocks for ourselves. If you're already telling yourself that you can't do something, or that you're not enough, or you're not worthy, it's like you're creating this block for yourself before you even give yourself a shot to go and try and see what you're capable of and see what you can do. So let's rewrite some new stories. And this is much easier to say than to actually do. I know that. I've done this, and I've been doing this for many years working with other people. It takes practice and some time to really think and reflect. So I just want you to look at these stories and just think about, which ones could I change? Maybe I don't believe it today, but I'm going to start telling myself this. I'm going to start the process of changing this story, because I don't want this to be my story anymore. I don't want this to be what I tell myself, what I believe, because I don't believe that this is actually true, and I want to discover the truth. For you to get out there and prove to yourself that these new stories you're going to write are the truth. You see, your mind is powerful. Your mind is so powerful. And you have the power to rewire your thoughts, to change your thoughts, to change the way that you speak to yourself. That will then change the way you see yourself. So write some new stories. Go ahead and pause this video. But first I can give you some examples. So if you're saying, I'm not enough, it would, I ask why. Where did it come from? Do you believe this to be true? Well, this is just what I tell myself. This is what I told myself. When I was doing this many years ago, I just said, or I don't believe that I'm enough, but someone else said it to me, and I just cried, and I thought, wow, I really want to believe that. I'm going to start telling myself every day. I even have it tattooed on my ribs. So the example would be that you say, I am enough, to flip it around. The evidence is, I was born enough, but I started telling myself a story that I wasn't enough, and I believed it. Or others made me feel that I wasn't enough, but I actually am, and I don't need to prove myself to anyone or fit in with anyone, because I came here to share my own unique essence into this world. I am enough, and I always have been. I was enough the first moment I opened my eyes on this earth. You see, you are enough. You always have been. But somewhere in your life, you started telling yourself another story, a story that you believed, or maybe others made you feel was the truth. Another example. I can't do it. I've already failed. I'm giving up. I'm just not the right person to be able to play basketball or play soccer or ride that dirt bike. Fail equals first attempt in learning. Failing is an opportunity for you to get back up and do it again and again and again until you get it. And you know what? It's going to feel so much better when you've worked for it than if you just get everything perfect all the time. That's not fun. So don't give up just because you didn't get it the first time or a couple times. You are capable. So maybe something, I've failed, but it's okay, because each failure is an opportunity for growth. And then reflect on times that you failed in the past as your evidence, but you grew from that experience, or you overcame it, and you were able to change that thought, change that view that you had where you thought you couldn't do it, and because then you succeeded later. I'm a big rock climber, but I didn't start out that way. I started out having panic attacks, being afraid of heights, not having any arm strength or forearm strength, finger strength. And I failed and failed and failed and fell down so many times. I cried sometimes when I was on my way up because I was so scared. But it became something that I really fell in love with. I overcame those fears. I got stronger. And I started making it to the top. But it felt so good because I worked so hard to get there. So it's okay to fail. These are just some examples. But it's time for you to rewrite your story, to tell yourself a new story, a story that feels good, that empowers you, to show yourself all that you're capable of, to stop dimming your light, because you came here for so much more than that. So rewrite your stories, and I want you to start telling yourself these new stories every single day until one day you will believe them. and go prove to yourself that you are capable of everything and that these stories are true, these new ones that you're rewriting. Thank you for showing up with me today. This is just a little intro into how to shift the way that you speak to yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please follow, like, comment. I love hearing from you. You can also visit me at www.fearlesssunflowers.com, and I will include a link below because I have an online course called Flourish, and it's my mini course for having a more loving relationship with yourself. So it has over 3 hours of video modules. It has PDFs, workbooks, meditations, and you have access to the online learning portal forever. It's a really low cost course that has such high value, and I made it because I just wanted to put a lot of what I work with others into a little course that everyone has accessibility to, that's affordable and also fits in your time because you can work in it at any moment. So thank you for hanging out with me. You can also follow my Instagram at Fearless Sunflowers. Okay, talk to you soon. Thank you.